Good morning, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I'm on a little bit earlier than the 6:30, and I've got this massive cat, so I don't know how this is going to go this morning. I didn't do my day 5 yesterday, so I thought we'd do 5 and 6 this morning, and for the day 5, I'm going to cheat a little bit and use these Tim Holtz collection fall leaves, and I thought if we put an oak leaf here, then I could put a maple leaf in 6. So I'm going to kind of cheat and do both days. And I'm just going to use my wonderful pens from my wonderful friend Janice again, and I'm just going to go around inside here, and we'll put a little oak leaf here. They are a little wide to get into the little, the little spots, but you'll be all right. And instead of using black, I'm going to use this brown pen to outline them. So even if you can't draw, if you have a stencil, sorry about Howie, he knows I'm feeling really anxious and I don't know why. So I figured if I came on here and maybe did this, I could relax a little bit. I have no reason to be anxious. It's just, I don't know. Some days things just put me over the edge. I just feel tremendously overwhelmed. I think it's the times we're living in. Maybe we'll include these little dots that Tim Holtz put on here for us. And again, some of these I can get and some of them I can't. All right. Let's see if I can get my maple leaf on here in some way. The maple leaf is kind of big. There seems to be something on the stencil too. So good morning to anybody that's watching. And if it's past morning for you, have a great day. I'm going to let this overlap into my day 5, the previous day, just so I can get the full leaf on here. So look through your stencils and see if you've got some things that look, autumnal or fall, whichever you call it. Ever since one of my classmates talked about the fall of the Roman Empire, I've been trying to say autumn more. And I was trying to hang out with Mary last night, but oh my word, I had not slept well the night before, and it was about 8:30, and I just said, I'm sorry, I got a good night. And I as soon as I told them good night in Mary's chat, I was out hard, and I don't remember barely waking up to do any bathroom trips. I think I went to the bathroom once in the night. And we'll put these little dots on here. Like the tip of the pen is really too big on some of these. Okay. So now I can color these in with the pens. Morning, Kathy D. Morning, Maria. How are you? We've got Howard here. I did go back on some of my previous days and filled in the background. On the mug day, I filled the background in. It was just little swirls to make it look like it's a cold day. And then on the Indian corn, I just did a faux wood background. So there's that. I got to clean the tip off of my pen. So this oak leaf, I actually have oak trees in my yard. They're nothing spectacular. They're what we call scraggly oak trees. So I'm just going to shade one side here, and then we'll put some orange, and we'll just make them look fallish. These do color with, you can color with these pens pretty good. Just do little circles. We've had a lot of cloud cover. So the airplanes, when they take off from the airport, it's like the plane is pointed straight at the sky because they're trying to get up above the clouds before they, get past our house, it seems. And we're 10 minutes from the airport, so if that. I'm just going to color these in too, the little dots that Tim Holtz put on there. Just fill them in a little bit. I don't know if I mentioned that when the plumber was working on the tub, or it could have happened, it could have been a slight damage flaw with the brand new bathtub. But I was sitting in the bathtub, a few days after we'd finally gotten it to where we could use it. And I noticed that where the water overflow valve is at the front of the tub, it has a crack coming down into the tub some. And so Scott ordered this kit to repair cracks in a tub. And so he had to cut a hole in the wall in the closet to access that valve mechanism for the overflow. And he used the mesh that he used in the concrete to try to stabilize the tub, because there's no other way to fix it without completely dismantling the bathroom. And we're not doing that. We're not. So he's put like 3 layers of epoxy on the back side of the tub, and it should be fine. We're waiting on the epoxy to cure before we use it. Right, I'm going to leave that pen out. Let's get these oranges and yellows, and maybe the gold for the oak leaf. And then the maple leaf, I think we'll use that orange and the red. And Melanie's here. Good morning. Let's finish this oak leaf first. Put a little bit of gold on it. I was watching Marion at Marion's World last night, and I was trying to do she's got this book that was her great-grandmother's crochet and knitting book, I think, or is it crochet? Just crochet. But it's like 123 years old. It was printed, I think she said, in the 1800s. And she showed how to do this rose, and I'll show you the rose real quick. And I'm stuck on the leaves for it. I'm gonna have to bring the green. I'm gonna go back to Marion's video, but I'm having trouble with the way she says to do the leaves. This just doesn't look like what she had. Of course, I've used thread, cotton thread, to do the rose, and this is exactly as that's supposed to look like. But then you add these chains and then work the leaves into that. And I don't think my leaf clusters are correct. I'm going to have to wait until I'm here by myself because with the guys home, it's like when I'm trying to do something intricate like this, that's when I become the goal that has to be talked to. And when you're counting something out and you're trying to learn a pattern and they're going and questions that you have to stop to answer. Yeah. But the rose is exactly, it looks exactly like what she had. But these, I told them in Mary's chat last night at the Mary LTA that the leaves were doing my head in. And so I will try these again because you're supposed to have these clusters and then you attach it with a, she's using UK terms. So she says double crochet, but she means single crochet. And so you do in the next, like there's these chain loops that you make here, and then you do a chain 3 off this cluster and then do a single crochet and then a chain 3, and then you come over and do a single crochet in here, and then you do another leaf cluster. So you end up with 4 of these leaf clusters around, and it makes a square. And then these are supposed to be in there. So you'll have a little chain that goes there, and then a leaf cluster, and then a little chain and a leaf cluster, and so on until you get the 4 corners. And this actually makes a block. And to me, this reminds me of Irish crochet, where it's layered. And I love Irish crochet. I just think it's the most beautiful crochet out there. But it's time consuming because you're doing a layer of chain, and then you have to go back and work on the chain, and then and that's how this rose is done. You do the center, and then you have to do chains to the back, and then you work in those chains, and then the next row you make chains into the previous row. You do a single crochet into the previous post on another row, and then you'll have these chains, and then you got to turn it again and add the shell pieces, see? And it's just built up, and that's how you get all these beautiful layers. But again, I'm going to go back to her video this morning and see if I can work out how to do these leaves. This is the green I had available, so mine are going to be variegated leaves. Oh, but those leaves last night, finally I said, I give up. I'm just going to stop here. And I will pick this up again in the morning after I do my Inktober video. Oh, Scott's given his students their final today. So we'll have a little break before he starts teaching another class. He gets paid very well at this teaching job, but it doesn't include any benefits. So he goes to his day job, which is way low key. And we got a little bit more stuff moved around. I've got to go through some photos. That'll be depressing as heck for me right now. Maybe I should just put the boxes back in the cabinet instead of going through them. That might be what I do, because I don't want to depress myself. All right, I'm going to just build this up across here. Hey, Vicki, you're making 7 bears, woman? 7? Wow. That's a lot of Benji bears. I made 1. I'm happy with 1, but I know you're making them as gifts, aren't you? Just think. Every time you make 1, it gets better and better. You could probably have the pattern memorized by now, too, after this many bears. Are you going to go somewhere else, Howard? I know you want to snuggle, but Mama's got things to do today. He just kissed me on my arm. He's such a rotten little wretch, aren't you? Are you a little wretch? He said, if you're going to talk to me like that, I'm leaving. He'll go beat his sister up now because she's in the work table basket. I still get a hoot out of the fact I took the other basket that they refused to lay in here, and I put it out on the table on the porch. And that's one of Callie's favorite perches now. She goes out there and gets on it. I just thought it was hilarious. They're all slightly different. Well, that's all right. Now this yellow was working good the other, there it goes. I need to work on the baby quilt that I got layered up. I need to work on that some today. I do just a couple rows of quilting on it each day. And of course, over the weekend, I didn't work on it at all because it's another one of those things where I kind of need to just not have somebody talking to me when I'm doing it. It's one of those solitude things I find enjoyable. Most of our oak leaves are just a solid brown. Yeah. They don't stay a pretty color here. It's when they're on the tree, they're a little colored, and then because it's so warm here, they turn brown before they even hit the ground. I rarely see leaves with color on them on the ground. Now up in New York, where I grew up in New England, the leaves color. I miss New England fall. I really do. And all the pretty colors on the leaves. All right, so there's my day 5. I don't know if I'll do the background on that one or not. I will see. Yeah, Chunky Benji Bear. They are addictive though, those Benji Bears. They are cute. I'll have to show mine before I sign off. All right, let's do this maple leaf. Trying to get it started here. We'll just color it in. I might just do some lines in the background. That was my son in there. He still wears his dog tags. So he makes a ton of noise everywhere he goes. I guess it gives him some comfort to keep his dog tags on. Scott quit wearing his a long time ago. They're in a drawer somewhere. I need to look up when they're going to have the high school NROTC, whatever it was. His little high school unit, they get together at Christmas time, and I need to look that up. We just get together down at the local kind of, it's like a pub. It's just the local beer joint, as my mother-in-law would call it, local beer joint. But they have, they have a full menu down there. You can get a steak dinner if you want it, but they charge a fortune. We try not to go there very often because it just costs so much to go out to eat anymore. It's nuts. Junior, ROTC. Yes, that's it. Hi, let's see, Lala's here. ROTC. Yes, that's it. Oh, and Janet Nash. Good morning. I have another envelope. If somebody else would like a little journal to arrive in the mail that you could put together, this is the envelope I have done up. I just need to know who might like to get it. And I've put some papers in it. And of course, I've included in a couple avocados. And the avocados are ones I made myself. So if you would like to do this, I put 2 of them in there, and I fussy cut them, and there's just a variety of papers. And what you do when you get it is you just carefully open it along the top, leave this sealed, open it along here, and then you can turn this whole thing into a journal by folding it in half. So if somebody would like to do this, just let me know. Leave me a comment or let me know in the chat. Janet got one already, and she did a cute one. I couldn't resist sending that one to you because I had that Freddy dog that I could glue on the envelope. So if you'd like to make a little journal, just give me a holler. There's Sophia. Hi, Dar. My scrap box is so full. I like to color over the previous color with the next color just so it blends easier. Oh, Howard, really? Okay. You can go out. I know you're going to run away. How about I prop the door open? Because you don't want to be trapped out there. All right, there you go. Now you can sneak out like you think you're getting up to something. Go on. Oh, you're going to jump back up and be a pain first. They don't want to see your butt. Oh, Howie. I need to get them all cycled through at the vet. Oh my God, this new vet costs so much. But they all need to go and get their yearly shots and have checkups because they haven't been in a long time because they're house cats. So, and going to the vet so traumatizes them that I put it off. But I'm thinking they need to go and have checkups since they're getting older. Oh, train at the tracks down the road. Planes, trains, and automobiles around here. We hear it all. I think they try to blast through before the school traffic starts up. so they're clear, so they don't come in contact with, school children or anything. These kind of blend together when you color over. Looks pretty cool looking. For just a simple ink pen. And these are just those colored crystals that JL sent me. I could show you an oak leaf. I got some on the porch. They've blown up there. I haven't swept the porch off. But they're just all brown, solid brown. Back here. Sorry, gone quiet. I'll start talking again. There we go. And we'll just put a little stem in here. There we go. Then we need to do something for the background. And I was thinking just maybe some gold lines. I'll put my pens back in there. I didn't know these came in this many colors. This is awesome. And my other new pens, I've put them up, and I don't know where I put them, which is crazy because I just used them. Hi, Josie. Yep, piece of Howard hair. I was thinking just some lines. So, funny story about my mother-in-law from this weekend. One's a little scary. We walked in and I said, it smells like she's baking sweet potatoes. And I went to the oven and there was no timer on. She was upstairs and there was these sweet potatoes in the oven. They had been cooking so long, they were hard and crunchy. And I said, I'm turning these off. And then when she came down, I said, you were cooking sweet potatoes. And she said, I was. I'm no good. I can't remember. And I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't cook. And I'll just let me know if you need me to start bringing meals every single day. No, I manage. I might have to just do it. But then she gets mad and tells me to stop it. Sometimes I feel like stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, then she goes, can you all go get me some chocolate ice cream? And she said, and get me 2 containers because I want to have it at hand because she said, I like chocolate ice cream. She's diabetic, but hey, she's going to be 98 this month. So we just let her have whatever she wants. So we said, sure. And then she said, and I need a loaf of bread so I can at least make a sandwich. But just get the cheapest bread you can find. Because I don't want to spend. And then the ice cream, she didn't want to spend like $5 for ice cream. So she said, get the cheapest ice cream. So we got her 2 of the store brand of chocolate ice cream. And I found her, we have a brand of bread called Ka-Ching. It's like $2.09 for a loaf of bread. And so I got her that and the 2 things of chocolate ice cream. And let me back up, because she was digging. She went upstairs and got her purse, and she forgot her cane. So when she was coming back down, it was making me nervous. And then she was completely out of breath. But she sat down and she was going through her purse looking for money, because, I can't just go and get the ice cream for her. She's got to give me the money for it. And I said, don't worry about it. She said, I'm paying for it. And then she digs out $5.75. And she said, do you think you can get it for $7.75. It was a $5 bill and 2 ones and 3 quarters. And I said, yeah, we can probably do that. Well, it didn't come to $7.75. It came to $8.07. And so when Scott dropped it off, I said, you decide. I said, I'm going to sit in the car, because at that point, I was just my mind was just too impatient to deal with her. So I said, just take it in. And if she insists on knowing how much it is, tell her it was $8.07, but tell her not to worry about the 32 cents. And he took forever, because she had to dig out 32 cents. And she was tickled that she had exact change for the 32 cents. Oh, she is a hoot. She threatened to drive down to the store herself, and we're like, no, we'll go. We'll go. We said, we'd rather you didn't drive. And that's how we've gotten her to quit driving. We'd rather you didn't drive. She can't see well enough to drive, and she hasn't been to the eye doctor in forever, but she gets mad at me when I try to get her to go to the eye doctor. So anyway, that was the little story from this weekend. All right, so there's my 5 and 6 for my thing. When I was a teenager and I was living with my grandmother, and her health was starting to have issues, so I had started writing her checks. So all she had to do is sign her name, and I helped with her medical stuff. So I know what all of this is about, but I find that now that I'm older and I'm over 60 myself now, and my patience level is not what it was when I was a teenager. So I start getting anxious and just real agitated myself. And I have to sit there and say, she can't help it. She can't help it. I need to be patient. I want someone to be patient for me. This is what's going through my head the whole time I'm sitting there trying to cope. And it's like, it's ugly to treat them bad. They can't help it. They can't help it. You got to be patient. You got to be patient. So by the time we were done with there, I was done. And I didn't want to go back in, because she would have wanted us to sit and visit again, because she will have forgotten that we'd been there a good long time before. So yeah, oh my goodness. I love her to death. I really do. She's like another mom to me, but going through this again. And I know that this is something that we all repeat with our aging parents and aunts and uncles. And it's really, really hard to cope when you see their decline and you know they can't help what they're going through. And you would hope that somebody will be patient with you when your time comes to go through all this mess. And I just wanted to share that to get it off my chest. So there's that. It's hard. It's very hard. Now, I'm not going to do the cross hatch the whole way, just on the corners of my square. So let's see. I'll just do it on these two so that it's cross-hatched at the corners. Whoops. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. And now I want to get the black out and darken my lines to show the separation of the days. Yep, it is. So this just kind of notes that days 5 and 6 ran together because they're over the edge of each other. I guess I could do the bottoms of these blocks. Howard's hair is everywhere. That's something I need to get for the cats is the fur ball remedy. You know, that sticky stuff you get them to eat and it helps them pass the hairballs. They need that. All right, there we go. This could be a little darker. So there's my 5 and 6, and I was going to show you guys my Benji bear so you guys can see what Vicky's working on. And now my my sweater is one that I kind of use the ladies because I bought the sweater pattern from the lady that has the Benji bear pattern, and I couldn't figure it out because it was knitting, but I took the neck stitch count and then I designed my own sweater. Excuse my hair, I didn't brush it. So, and I've got to clean this room up. It's getting out of hand again. These are the bears Vicky is working on. And I just made my bear a pullover sweater, and I didn't write the instructions down. I just kind of made it up, and I matched the stripes, tried to match them to go from the sleeve over, but you know, once you put it on him, it kind of looks different. So this is Benji Bear, and you don't fill him all the way so that you can hug him. And I think this would be a good therapy bear for folks in nursing homes or in surgery recovery even, because they could hold this, you know, on their bellies. So he is a cute little bear, and like I said, you don't fill him up. You fill him about halfway, so he's kind of lovey. And then he's got these big old chunky legs. He's a big old bear. I still need to make him his name badge, because if you've not been around here, when I make something and they've been named, I try to give them their own name badge. Like Jeff the rabbit has his name badge, and Zoya the doll. Zoya, let me go get Zoya, because she's another pattern that I got, I think, off either Etsy or Ravelry. And I learned something making her that I thought I would share with you guys. I made her a scarf here. You make her 2 necks. So you stitch her neck here, but then you make a little tiny tube that you fit down inside, and her head is still floppy, but it's not as floppy as it would be without that internal neck. So you just make a little tube that's slightly smaller than the outer part, and you insert it, and that stabilizes that neck. She's still a little floppy, but what I loved is you make her ears even. And her name is Zoya. And if you look up Zoya crochet doll, it'll come up. But I made her a scarf there, and it's got little leaves on the ends. And she was easy to do because all of her clothes are just her body, except you make the little bib separate and you hook it on here, and then make the straps and then bring them around and sew them down on her bottom. and then her hair is in two little buns, and I made mine a blonde. I think you're supposed to use brown for her hair, but I wanted mine to be a little blonde because she's so pale that I thought the dark hair would look a little odd on her. I want to make another one. You know, there's that one yarn brand, Joann's carried it, and it was all these skin tones. And I'm going to see if Michael's is starting to carry that, because they have all of Joann's rights to the yarn type situation. I can't remember what that's called. Y'all probably do. But I want to see if they have that skin tone yarn. And I just want to get some in like 4 or 5 different skin tones and make some different dolls. What am I going to do with these dolls and stuff? I don't have any littles, but maybe one day I'll have some littles and I can just let them take something home. So there's Benji and Zoya together. And you can see how little she is compared to Benji. Benji took a minute to make. So that's just a tip on the necks on how to stabilize them. Was she a Japanese pattern? You know, I don't know. I don't know. Where's my phone? Let me see if I can look for it. And what does Safia put in there? It's hard, Josie, to deal with it. It's just really, especially when they're saying the same thing over and over and over. It's the same conversation every Sunday about the newspaper and how it only comes out, and she only wants it for Sunday and Wednesday. And it's just the same thing. See, I had thought about doing that, like disconnect a battery cable, because she's not going to look in there. Yeah. Thank you, Maria. I'm enjoying doing the Inktober in small scale. Let's see. All right, let me see if I can find Zoya. Well, this is where I got it. ChaiCoffeeCrochet.com. She has Zoya and Zoid crochet dolls, free patterns. She has this Zoya wearing the overalls. There's a ballerina Zoya, a mermaid Zoya, and a little boy Zoya that wears a striped top. But his name is Zayd, Z-A-Y-D. But it's at Chai Coffee Crochet. I'll type it in. Chai Coffee Crochet. And I'll pop over here and see if my link works. Sorry, I'm sniffing. Of course, she wants you to sign up for her newsletter. And there's some littler dolls. So that when you open that, it takes you over and you can see all of her different dollies that she has on there. There's some that'll fit in a teacup. She's got a new monster series, the Juna series of crocheted animals. I should send this link to Kaylee because she's been doing a free pattern a day. Zaid and Zoya doll series is about halfway down the scrolling, but you can see there's all the little ones. There's the little boy and the mermaid and the ballerina version of this Zoya. So there's different versions. If you don't want her to wear overalls, she can wear other things. And I do love the monster series where they've taken children's actual drawings and turned them into crocheted monsters. I think that's an awesome idea to combine your skills with your children's artwork. And if you join, of course, if you join their mailing list, you'll get notifications. The amigurumi baby gift set is cute with the little animal and the rattle. I really love the little animal collection. I don't need to make any more things until I have a little one to make it. And the mini dolls, look at all of them. Aren't they cute? So Chai Coffee Crochet, go check them out when you get a chance. They're free patterns. Okay, guys, I guess I'll let you guys go, and I'm going to do some things real quick. One of Juanita's last litter was a little girl that I could never get my hands on. Well, she's had kittens, and we found where she had the kittens, and because I found them, she moved the ones that were still living, and we found that there was a dead kitten in there. So I had to clean that up, and I don't know where she moved the last. I think there's 3 kittens. She had 4, just like Juanita. I have 4 kittens every time. So, and because she's got these kittens now, she's letting me touch her now, and she's more affectionate. So when I can find the kittens, I'm going to get with my neighbor up the street and see if we can get them to a rescue group and find them some homes, because I can't take on anymore, and I just can't. And I need to get the group that I have right now cleared out and find them homes, because this is getting nuts. And I think the people next door have had more kittens that they'll turn outside. It's like a continuing nightmare. So there's Anne. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to go clean litter boxes and make the bed and all that kind of stuff. And I will see you guys over at Janet's after a while. Take care, guys. Bye.